Welcome back. Today we're going to take a look at creating toolpaths on the part we just got done drawing, the one jam part. In order to go back and find our part, we're going to go up to our ribbon bar, select open. It should automatically bring you to your H drive. However, if it does not, first initial last name 000, click on the pull down menu here and you should go all the way to the bottom where you see first initial last name 000 and you have the gray box with your green line underneath it. In there you should find your one jam part and click open. Once it opens up, the first thing that we're going to need to do is we're in a 3D model tab, okay, and our ribbon looks like this. We're going to change over to our CAM tab, the C-A-M tab. With our CAM tab open, the first thing that we need to do is set up our part. So click on the setup folder. And in here we start off with our origin in the middle. We want to change that to the lower left hand side where our model origin is. So on this first tab, and there's three going across the top here, we want to work these tabs from left to right, and each tab we're going to take a look at the stuff that's inside of it. So on this first tab, we're going to change our origin from stock box point to model origin. Let's go to our next tab. Did you see how that moved it to the origin? Our next tab is our stock setup. In here where it says stock offset mode, we're going to click and add no additional stock. And then we're going to go to our third tab, which is our post-process tab, and we're going to highlight the 1001 and we're going to type in 1 and your last name. So I typed in one jam, which is the part, and then my last name. You're going to do your last name here. Click OK down in the model browser bar. Now that we have our part set up, the first thing that we're going to do is take a look at cutting these holes and drilling them. You used that awesome rectangular pattern tool in order to create those. So let's take care of those first. In our ribbon bar at the top, we're going to go to the drilling section and we're going to select drill. Once again, we have these tabs running across the top. We're going to work them from left to right and take a look at what's inside of each tab area. For our first tab, we need to select our tool. So we're going to click on the tool button. Now, if you take a look in here, we should have entered in here earlier, Butler MS Tool Library. Earlier in the year, we loaded these tools in. If you did and you have this folder, you're going to select tool number 2, which is 1/4 inch flat end mill. If you don't see Butler MS Tool Library, I put these all in another folder, sample libraries, and I have end mills right here. You're going to choose end mills, and then these are the same tools, 1/4 inch flat. Okay, I'm going to take mine out of Butler MS Tool Library. Tool number 2, 1/4 inch flat, click select, and it shows us our tool appears here. Next, let's go across to our geometry that we're going to select, and those are the holes that we're drilling. So once we have our tab highlighted, we're going to come over and we're going to click our holes. Now it doesn't matter what order that we click them in. You can click them in any order that you want. We have optimize order on here, so the computer is going to decide what is the fast and best way to cut those. Once we have that done, we're going to move on to our next tab, which is where we're going to establish our heights. These top three, clearance height, retract height, and feed height, we are all going to change to the same thing of model top and 0.2. Retract height, model top, and 0.2. So these top three, once again, model top and 0.2. Once you're finished with that, we're going to move across to our last tab, which is our cycle tab. And here it says drilling, rapid out. That means that it's going to drill the hole and then rapidly retract out of the hole when it reaches the bottom depth. Once we're finished with that, select OK. Let's go up to the top of our ribbon bar and click on Simulate. I have my stock checked, so it shows what the stock looks like before it's cut, and click play. It's going to run through and show how it's going to cut those parts or those holes for your part. Once you're finished taking a look at that, click close. Now we need to add one more tooling where we're going to cut and pocket these open pockets that are here on the sides. In order to do that, we're going to go to our 2D milling area and we're going to click 2D pocket. It automatically puts in a tool, and a lot of times you want to bypass this, but if you take a look at the feeds and speeds here, do you see how there's some problems in here? So we're going to identify the correct tool. So we're going to click our tool button again. You're either going to go to Sample Libraries and Mills and select 1/4 inch flat, tool number 2, or you're going to go all the way to the bottom, Butler MS Tool Library, and click tool number 2, 1/4 inch flat. Click select. Now we have the correct tool in there and we don't have any errors or bad values in our feeds and speeds. Next, we're going to move across to our next tab where we're going to select our geometry. We're going to click the bottom of each pocket. Make sure you're on the bottom and the whole entire thing highlights. Don't come off to the side where you just have an edge. We want the whole bottom to highlight. Click to select it. And we're going to do the same for the pocket on the right. Whole bottom area to highlight. Click to select it. Once those are selected, we're going to move across to our next tab where we're going to establish our heights. And once again, just like we did in our drilling, we're going to change all of these to model top and point 2. Model top and point 2 for these top 3. Okay? Next, let's move across to our next tab, which is where we're going to take care of our passes. We're going to come down here where it says multiple depths. We're going to check box that to select it. And where it says maximum roughing step over, we're going to take and click on that to highlight it, and we're going to change that to 0.25. This is where we're changing the depth of that because we got to take it in 2 passes because it's 0.38 deep, and that's pretty deep to cut in 1 pass. Next, we're going to scroll down where it says stock to leave. We're going to uncheck that box because we want it to cut up right up next to the part where our rectangle was drawn. Once we have that done, we're going to move to our final tab, the linking tab. And in here, where it says leads and transitions, we're going to uncheck lead in, uncheck lead out, and we're going to change our ramp style from helix to plunge. Once you have those selected in this last tab done, click OK at the bottom in your model browser. It's going to process your tool paths up here. In order to identify both of them and have them run, we're going to click Setup 1. We're going to click Simulate. Click Play. And it's going to cut your part, first drilling those awesome points that you did with the rectangular pattern. Then it's going to cut your pockets, showing multiple depths that we took. Let this run all the way through. At the end of this, you need to provide me a screenshot. So you're going to take a screenshot of this, and that's going to get turned into Google Classroom. Wait for it to finish running fully through on the simulation, both cuts. Okay, now is when you're going to take a screenshot, and there's going to be a place in Google Classroom for you to take and put this in as a screenshot. Once you have done that, in the model browser on the left-hand side for our simulation, click Close. And now we're going to come up to the top to our orange file in the top left-hand corner and go to Save. Click Save, and that's going to update our part with the CAM operations done on that. Great job. You just got done running your toolpaths. The next video is going to be how to create a standard.iam, a drawing for you to turn in as well. Congratulations on running the toolpaths.